All right, guys, so today we're doing a video on how much has the Cayman, the 987 Cayman, cost me in the last 2 years ownership. It's been almost 2 years, and this thing overall has actually been pretty good. Now, we got lucky. It actually had good tires on it, which is extremely rare buying any car these days. Not the brand I would like. These are Continental Conti Tech, some thinking or another. Not the best on wet pavement, not the best on dry pavement, not the best on any pavement, but they are brand new. So usually run those Watsu FP 7000s or 8000s and everything. They're a lot more grippier tire and a lot better in all season situation. However, we did start off, first thing we did is change the oil. We changed the oil, changed the transmission fluid. This car had the wrong transmission fluid in it. We had, let me see here, about the filter, about 40. We changed it a bunch of times. Let's say we had it on the crazy side $100 in it. We changed it 3 or 4 times to get all the fluid out. The oil change has been done twice in this car. We've been driving it quite a bit. Oil change on this one, the filter is about $10 for a man filter. We've done it twice, so 20. The oil, probably 60. Let's just round up. Let's say $200 in fluids at this point. All the brakes have been done on this thing. Recently had good brakes on it. We did do the exhaust. So we got lucky. The car came with headers, catless headers. We put those on. We had a couple bolts broken, so pennies for that stuff. Let's say 20 bucks for that. We did the Borla mufflers. We wouldn't have had to do those mufflers. I wanted those mufflers. We got about $300 in the whole exhaust with all the welding, the mufflers, the tips, and all that stuff. So we're about $500 in it roughly. And let's say miscellaneous stuff, I forgot about $600 in it with a 2-year span. Now, we had a starter failure, but we got another starter with the car, OEM starter with the car. Come to find out, the starter that was on it was a Chinese starter. That's why it failed. And so we had the OEM starter. We swapped it out. No problems, right? It seemed to fix the issue altogether. Ordinarily, that would have cost $200. We'll go ahead and tack that on because it would have cost that. We got extremely lucky to get it with it. And so we're getting around $800 at this point. I'm trying to think what else. We just put ignition coils on it. We kept having this issue to where it would run fine. We'd go drive it 30, 40 minutes away to go to the grocery store, do this, and it'd have like a little bit of a misfire to it. You turn the key off, turn it back on, and it would be gone. On E85, it would do it a little bit worse. And I think what was going on, it was getting a bad coil pack. It was getting in the midst of it. It had 2 coil packs that were swapped out to the newer version, while all the other ones were still the older version. And so we put all new OEM Bremmy coil packs on it yesterday. That did fix the problem. It did bring a lot more power back to it. And then we also noticed that it was not running as rich as what it was. And I think a little bit the smoking on cold start, there was a little bit of oil in the intake. I think some of that was running rich, thinning the oil out with gasoline, and then causing it to blow past the valve seals. Like I said, it wouldn't always smoke, but you definitely, when you change the oil, you definitely tell it was very gassy smelling. The ignition coils were about $226-ish, maybe $230 something. We're about $1,000 in this thing, and this is being very aggressive with the maintenance, not leaving any stone unturned. Also, when we first got it, we put 2 tie rod ends on it. One was bad, one wasn't, so we replaced a set of them. They're about $120 for 2 tie rods, and then the alignment was about another, was it $79 or $89? And so we're looking about, we're probably $1,200 in this car so far. I'm trying to think here. We did tail lights on it. Tail lights are actually very expensive for this car. It was, man, I'd say close to $300, and we're probably getting close to $1,500 in it. I can't really think of anything else at all we've done. The stereo that's in it sucks. It's an Alpine. It's a touchscreen. It's horrible. It keeps losing connection with the fiber optic system. We'll probably do something with that eventually. We've never had any failures on this car. Like, nothing failed where we couldn't drive it. The starter was kind of sticky. If we leave it outside in the cold, it would kind of hang a little bit and it was acting weird, so we just changed it. But it never once left us sitting anywhere. It doesn't drip anything. It doesn't use any oil. It doesn't use any coolant. Everything's right on the money. It's at 129K. So at some point in time, I think as we get closer to 200K, we'll probably have to do the same hose upgrade, radiator upgrade we did on the yellow 996. But this overall, it's a very reliable platform and chassis, and really no issues. I mean, other if you had bore scoring, it'd be an issue. But you'd have that at very, very low mileage. I think we're in at less than $2,000 and 2 years ownership. Like I said, being ultra aggressive with the maintenance and putting some joyful stuff on it, like the taillights, different exhausts, and things like that. If you can work on stuff yourself, especially if you have a lift at your house, don't be scared to buy one of these. If you have a lift, this is an easy car to work on. There's not much to it. If you're laying in the gravel in front of your house trying to fix stuff, it is a little more challenging because everything's done from underneath of it. But to never have any dry shaft problems, to never have, there's no guibo bushing on there's none of that. It doesn't exist in this car. And so you go out, you can somewhat abuse it, and it'll just take it, right? It's not something you have to worry about breaking anything on. Overall, the Cayman and the 911s are a great purchase for a sports car versus a Lamborghini or Ferrari, because they just don't break like those cars do. And you can actually go out and have fun with it. It's a comfortable car on the highway. It's nice and quiet and smooth. You got heated seats. Everything it's a nice place to be. It's not bumpy and thrashy and tinny and air leaking in. But that's going to be it, guys. Overall, the review for me for this car is a 10 out of 10. You can't ask for any better than what it is. And make sure nobody's done anything crazy to one before you buy one. Nobody's abused it, and you'll be all right. I just want to update you guys real quick on the 996. We're still waiting for, one hose, one new radiator. What else was there? I can't remember. And the new slave cylinder, the OEM one. And those three things, and this thing is drivable. And if you don't know, this had oil in the coolant. It was a huge mess. We replaced 28 hoses and 2 radiators on the car. So stay tuned. You want to see more 996 stuff. These cars, a year ago, you could buy these for cheap. Not no more. Now they're at least low to mid 20s, starting for a junk one and up. So stay tuned for that, guys. We'll be driving this. The end goal here, we want to be able to race these two cars against each other and see which one's faster. We could prove once and for all 911 versus Cayman drag race test, right? That's what everybody really wants to see. But that's going to be it, guys. We'll see you very soon. Have a good day.